Hi guys, welcome to another episode on Sposh Marketing, where I talk about affiliate marketing, SEO, and anything that has to do with making money online. And today's episode I'll be talking about how to become a full-time blogger in 12 months. If you've not subscribed to the channel, don't forget to do so by clicking on the subscribe button below so that you can get notified of amazing content as soon as I publish them. Without further ado, let's get started. So you've heard about blogging and you're considering venturing into blogging because you heard that it's rewarding. Yes, it is very, very rewarding. And people make millions of naira or of thousands of dollars from blogging on monthly basis if you do it right. So what this video is about is I want to show you how to practically grow as a blogger, how to practically become a full-time blogger in 12 months. Now, if you are going full-time, it means you are dedicating a reasonable percentage of your day. Let's say it means you're handling like a 9-to-5 job every day for probably like 5 days of the week. You're dedicating that amount of hours to it every day as a blogger. So the most important thing, the first thing is to pick a niche, right? Now, people get confused with the idea of picking a niche. The idea of picking a niche is basically about deciding on what your blog will be about. You cannot just say I want to become a blogger and start writing articles. Why? What will you be writing about? You cannot write about baby today and write about fashion tomorrow, only if it's baby fashion anyway. So you have to find a central piece of what your blog will be all about. People need to know that, oh, this blog is about fashion, this blog is about spiritual growth, this blog is about electronics, this blog is about cell phone, this blog is about this blog is about that. You have to sit down and pinpoint what you really want to blog about. Now, there are different school of thought on picking a niche. Some people would say that you pick a niche based on how competitive the niche is. Some people advise that you pick a niche based on what you are passionate about. Some people say you should pick a niche based on what you don't mind researching and writing about. This video is not about picking a niche, but it's about making you understand that it is very, very important that you sit down and decide that this is what my blog will be all about. So once you're able to settle that part, then you draw a growth plan. Now, most of the time, people get confused about creating an online business. They think, well, you can just come in, spend some hours per day, and in a month or two, you start earning income. It does not work like that. You have to have a growth plan. You have to approach it as if it's an offline business, right? You have to give it that same approach, because if you're starting an offline business, you draw a plan and say, this is what I want to do in the next 2 months, this is where I see myself in the next 6 months, this is where I see myself in the next 1 year. So the same thing applies to online business or blogging or any other business I can think about that has to do with online, that is on the online platform. So you have to draw a growth plan, and a typical growth plan entails, this is what my site will be all about. This is how frequent I intend to publish on my site. This is how I intend to promote my content. It may sound complicated, but it's very, very helpful in the long run, because you end up making precise decisions. You are not confused about what you are supposed to do at a particular point in time. So you have to draw a growth plan. This is what I want. Probably I want to be publishing 3 articles per week, and I'll dedicate the remaining 2 days of the week to promoting my content that I've published all through the week. Or probably I want to publish every single day. Probably I want to invest 2 hours into writing every day. I want to do this, I want to do that. And the next 1 month, this is a growth trajectory that I foresee. I foresee myself having like 50 articles already. I foresee myself having 50 or 100 visitors in a day and all of that. So once you have this growth plan, it becomes easy for you to work towards it and to actualize your plan. So once you have once you'll be able to pick a niche, once you'll be able to draw a growth plan, the next thing is to set up your site. This might be a bit technical if you are not experienced, but the 2 basic things that you need is a hosting and a domain. So the choice of your hosting depends on how much you can afford and how much you know a bit of all these technical things, or you can just hire somebody to get it done for you. You set up a hosting, you set up a domain. Now, most of the time, people get hung up on how beautiful their site is. The truth is, for the first 2 months or 3 months of starting your site, you rarely get consistent visitors. So you should not be hung up on the idea of how beautiful the site is, how stylish the theme, the color, and all of that. No. Just get started with content and consistency. That's the most important part. As you grow as a brand, you would evolve, you would change your design over time, and you get comfortable with a better design. So set up the site. It's very, very important. Then you start publishing content based on the growth plan that you've created initially. So if the plan is for you to publish content, let's say like 2 contents in a week or 3 contents in a week, and spend the remaining 2 days promoting the content, stick to that pattern so that people will know that as long as it's Thursday, a new post will publish on this site. As long as it is Friday, a new post will publish on this. Is very, very important as well. So once you set up the site, start pushing your content. In fact, most of the time I advise people to have like 10 content on ground, like 10 good written articles on ground before you launch your site. Reason being that at least when people come after reading the first article, they are not leaving off. There's another article that is waiting for them, interesting article for them to read, so they can spend a bit of time getting to know you, your writing style, your blog, and what your site is all about generally. So have like 10 or 5 content on ground before you launch your site to the public. So now, once you publish your first set of articles, the next thing you want to do is make a list of successful bloggers in your niche. So now, part of a growth plan is thinking about how you promote your content, because content promotion is as important as content creation as well. So you must have a plan for content promotion. Now, one of the common ways in which people promote their content is through social media, or you can do SEO if you are savvy about SEO, or you can do either of the two, or you can do the two together. But one thing that is important that you cannot do without is relationship with other bloggers, right? And this starts from you making a list of successful bloggers in your niche. You can make a massive list, dedicate some time to create a massive list of people that are doing fine in your niche, on your vertical. Probably if you're in the baby niche, you can make a long list of parenting niche, parenting blogs, successful parenting blogs. It's not difficult to search. Just go on Google and search for let's say top parenting blog in 2019, something like that. So come up with a whole long list of blogs, parenting blogs that are doing fine. Then from there you can follow up and see the ones that you can easily relate to. See, best mom blog, top mommy blogger 2019. So you follow up with them and you make a long list of them. Now the idea behind the list is that you want to cut your list down to, like, let's say 15 to 20 successful bloggers that you think are not too big and are not small. Now that's the idea. If you go for a blog that is too big, they might not have time to connect with you. But if you go for a blog, and if you go for a blog that is too small, well, they might not really be helpful as well. So you want something that is not too small and something that is not too big, right? And one of the ways to get to notice blogs like that are, number one, blogs that are published consistently, at least an article per week. Number two, blogs where the blogger reply comments on their post. That is very, very essential. So you want to list blogs like that and follow them. You subscribe to their content, okay, so they can get notified whenever they publish new content. And you make sure that you comment on each of their content as they do so. Like once they publish a post, now you read it, you give an insightful comment, and you move on to the next blog or something. If they publish another post next week, you come and do the same thing. Now the idea is that you are networking and you are creating a relationship with those bloggers. That's how you get popular in the blog sphere, really. Like you cannot just stand alone and expect to grow. You have to connect with people, you have to make relationship, because that's when you'll be able to talk about your own site. That is when people will notice that you are there. That is when you can always do cross-platform posting and all of that. So once you're able to make that list and create a relationship plan, like 10, 15, 20 blogs that you want to establish a relationship with, and you're able to keep up on a weekly basis, then you want to think about content marketing strategy. Okay, now I said earlier that there are basically 2 ways to content marketing strategy, but in the core part of it there are 3 ways, but 2 ways are much more popular: the social media strategy and the search engine optimization strategy. Now social media strategy is about writing a post, catchy headline, posting it on social media, promoting if you have the finances, and hoping that people will like it and to go viral and people will share it and all of that. Search engine strategy, on the other hand, is about creating the content based on what people are searching for online. Now this might be stressful if you are just starting out, because it's a bit technical. You need to understand the tools to use, the phrase to use, where to use, and all of that. But as time goes on, you grow into these things. So search engine marketing and social media marketing. And the third one that is less that is not that pronounced in the blogging community is the relationship part. Now you can gain a whole lot of traction because somebody read about you in another blog that they read about. That's complicated, but it's easy, right? So let's say, for instance, there is a blogger A and there is a blogger B. Blogger A is very, very popular. People know him because he writes about freelancing. And there's another blogger B that writes about how to write. 2 different things, right? So, and blogger A is popular. He has gained traction. He has been around for a while. And blogger B has been creating relationship with blogger A for almost a month or 2 or 3 months. Now, as blogger B, you can reach out to blogger A because it's popular and tell them, hey, what's up? I would like to write an article on your site and tell your reader about how to write perfect article as a freelance writer, something that their reader can relate to. Now, if you publish the article on blogger A's site, because blogger A is popular, to gain more traction, from there people will link up with you and you start to gain loyal readers for yourself. That's the essence of networking and creating relationship with popular bloggers in your niche, as mentioned previously. Now, that's like the basic plan. Okay, you can create a 3-month plan, 6-month plan, 8-month plan, or a 1-year plan. Now, once you work on the plan for a while, you have to sit down and re-strategize. Am I growing? Is this method working? Is it effective? If you have been doing social media and you see that it's not effective, I want to try and switch things up and write some posts that are SEO friendly. If you've been doing SEO and you see that it's not effective, you might want to switch up and write about posts that are social media friendly. Even sometimes you have to experiment between different types of social media. Is Pinterest better for your niche? Because if you're in cooking niche or home niche or decor niche, Pinterest is obviously better than spending time on Facebook or Twitter. So different kind of stuff like that. You want to analyze and compare the one that is working and the one that is not. It takes a bit of experimentation, but in the end, once you get it right. So you want to evaluate and re-strategize if it's working or if it's not. Now, as you start to gain traction, you want to explore how to make money from all your effort, because that's the ultimate goal. It's not just about helping people, it's about making money while you're helping them, because you're a full-time blogger. You have to make income for yourself. Now, most of the time people explore AdSense. Revenue from AdSense is very, very small if you are not getting massive traffic, which is the case that applies to most new bloggers, because you would not get massive traffic when you're starting out. So the idea is to explore other means of revenue that are much more rewarding than having ads on your site. It's not bad to have ads on your site, but you should try and explore other means like product review, like affiliate marketing, where you recommend a particular product to your readers and you earn a huge amount of money from that. So you can explore product review, affiliate marketing, sponsored posts, and business shout out and all of that. Depends on how your niche works. The basic thing is to explore different monetization methods. Don't just get stuck on the idea of monetizing with ads, right? Because beyond ads, there are a whole lot of methods to make money from the blog. And also, you want to build an email list from day one, please. It's very, very important. Yeah, one of my videos where I talked about 5 tips to build an email list. I'll link it up in the video so you can watch that. So you want to build an email list that would you want to build a funnel that will capture people's email and reach out to them whenever you publish new posts, so that they can get to read your new post and share it and do all sorts of stuff with it. And last but not the least, I want to talk about persistence and consistency. Now, it is very, very easy to get discouraged in the first 6 months because nobody's reading your content. You are putting in so much effort and it seems as if nobody is noticing your existence online. It happens it happens to the best of us. It happens all the time. It's expected. But if you don't give up, if you don't stop following your growth plan, there are about 90% chances that you would eventually emerge and make money like people that you aspire, like people that you look up to, basically. Okay, so that's on today's episode. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel by clicking on the subscribe button below. Don't forget to click on the bell notification icon so that I can get notified whenever I publish new content. And I'll see you in the next